True happiness lies in something that neither comes nor goes, but is there all the time. Because the happiness that comes and goes exists in time, in what we call the relative, in what we call being human. But what we are truly seeking is something that is always there, that is unmoving, that does not come or go, that cannot be touched by time, that cannot be changed by time. That is truly what we are all searching for deep within ourselves, because deep down we already inherently recognize that this is our true and authentic nature. Break time equals 0.5s/. The only thing that truly does not move, that is not subject to the relentless passage of time, that is not subject to the inevitability of death, that is not subject to any form of harm or damage, is something that is inherently invisible, that is utterly formless. That absolutely cannot be perceived with our five physical senses and certainly cannot be fully understood or comprehended with our limited human mind. That which we are recognizes itself. Call it consciousness, call it being, call it totality, reality, existence. It doesn't matter at all. That which we are, without beginning and without end, is what brings us happiness, what brings us peace, what brings us connection, what brings us wholeness, without reason, without condition, without dependence. And the good news is, we already are that. We are the love that does not need itself. We are the peace that is not dependent on itself. We are the consciousness that is the witness of the present moment, that is the creator of the present moment, and that is the destroyer of the present moment. Our mind tells us where, please, is happiness. Where is happiness now? I'm in pain. I feel sad. I feel anxious. I feel guilty. My relationships aren't working. My health isn't cooperating. My job is a disaster. I feel like I'm not loved. I feel like I can't love. I'm not liked, and so on and so forth. Our mind tells us something that takes place in space and time. Because we are creators, because as consciousness we are creators, we can color the infinite moment, the present moment, however we want. We can color the present moment with fear, with loneliness, with sadness, with lack, or we can color the present moment with peace, with ease, with self-confidence, with strength, with health, and so on and so forth. We are existence, we are creation, we are totality. We are what God is. And we often color our present moment, our current experience, with a particular mood that we instantly and immediately experience in the very next second, almost as if it's a premonition. Specifically, our profound belief in our own thoughts profoundly colors the present moment, truly filling the present moment with a distinct mood, with a unique vibration that we inherently define as our consciousness. That's why it's so important to know thoughts gain power as soon as we believe in them, as soon as we identify with them, as soon as we are attached to them. Then the thought shapes reality. A thought is followed by an emotion, and an emotion is followed by an action, a tone. And what this is truly all about is knowing that we no longer have to be completely enslaved by our own thoughts, that with our pure, unadulterated noticing, with our pure, clear seeing, with our pure, profound awareness, we can readily recognize our thoughts for what they truly are. What do we think about from morning until night? And just this pure noticing, this simple awareness of what the voice in our head is saying, changes the feeling attached to it and also the action that follows. And in this way, we can color our present moment, which is nothing other than our I am, our state of being, in this direction or that direction. And from that, a different sequence follows as well, a different life movie that we experience. Here, it's about recognizing, experiencing, and living our happiness and peace that exist without any reason, without any cause. And that profound essence is already here, truly. It's just completely covered up by something we commonly call thinking, by something we often refer to as the ego, by something we frequently identify as unconsciousness. These layers are an overlay. They overlap energetically, and we don't know ourselves. We believe we are someone, that we are an I, an individual, and we are trapped in the hypnotic dream of separation. Trapped in the hypnotic dream of being human. No I, no you, no we, no others. There isn't a being here and a being there. There is being, and even that is not quite right. There is only pure being, which temporarily and at this very moment takes shape as this present moment, plays out its role, lives its existence, thoroughly enjoys itself, or goes into complete resistance with itself. Break time equals 0.5s/. Your field of experience is not something independent from you. Your present moment is not separate from you. You are that. The present moment is a projection from your mind, from your consciousness, and is made of consciousness, is made of being. And that is peace. That is love. That is perfection and fullness. Only belief in your thoughts struggles with the present moment, struggles with existence, struggles with perfection. Let us allow ourselves, right now, to delve together into the deep wisdom that we are, that we possess. We all already know and understand that what is now, if we simply leave it completely in peace, if we just simply let it truly be, allowing the so-called outside world and the so-called inside experience to simply rest calmly within our perception, that it is then, after a relatively short while, that something profound begins to subtly change energetically within us. We step out of the hypnotic dream of separation, a profound and transformative experience, when we can truly allow this present moment to be just exactly as it is, without any resistance or judgment. No matter what your mind tells you, it is only a small part of the present moment. Don't fall for it, just witness this part, don't follow it. Simply notice it. Just notice it, just like everything else you see, sense, feel, smell, taste, or hear right now. Without a story, without a narrative, without control, without holding on, without pushing away. Simply a complete openness to what is. And then we realize what is God. What is what we have been seeking. It is pure energy. It is the absolute presenting itself as the relative. It is the impersonal appearing as the seemingly personal. It is timelessness appearing as apparent time. It is the formless within which apparent forms exist. It is the profound teaching that inherently fills itself with various and intricate forms, constantly evolving and manifesting. What we are earnestly seeking and truly desiring is precisely what is present and unfolding right now, in this very moment, in its complete and authentic essence. Despite fear, despite sadness, despite loneliness, despite crying, despite pain. That is consciousness as pain, consciousness as fear, consciousness as sadness. And within that, there is no person, no individual, no I. It is a field. It is an energetic field for nothing and no one. There is no someone there. There is nothing inside our body. There is nothing inside. There is nothing inside the forms. It is a world of appearances. It is a phenomenal world. It is a human dream, a dream of consciousness as a human being. And this deep truth, this deep liberation, must not just be words for you, but it's about recognizing it, experiencing it. If you are ready to return to your relaxed, conscious awareness and neither strengthen nor weaken this moment you are experiencing now, neither be for nor against anything, but simply remain neutral. An absolutely neutral attitude toward the here and now. Then the knot of I disappears and there is no center anymore. There is no center anymore. There is no I center anymore. There is only openness, spaciousness, peace, boundlessness. Energy that recognizes itself as energy. Life that recognizes itself as life. The end of the hypnotic dream of separation. The homecoming to unity, the homecoming to wholeness, the homecoming to perfection. Being detached from fears, from worries, from being human. The distance to time. And yet, this appearance here continues to be played out, continues to be animated, continues to be enlivened, continues to be navigated. Everything goes on just the same, only from a different perspective. No longer from the perspective of the separation of the self, but from the perspective of infinity, of boundlessness, of immortality. As long as we still want to be somebody, we are lost in the dream. Time, the burden of time, is unbearable. Fear is in the baggage. Even if it's just the fear of dying one day, of being wiped out. And on top of this fear, because I believe I am the body, I am me, billions of other heavy energetic movements pile up. And that's what makes us tired, what exhausts us, what makes us depressed, what makes us sick. The subtle fear of being a self. The subtle fear of being a subject within time, who is born and will one day die. It is unbearable. It is unbearable because it is a lie, because it is a deception, because it is not true. That's why it is unbearable. What is bearable is that which is untouched by time, untouched by birth and death or by experiences along this timeline, that which neither increases nor decreases, that which cannot be hurt. And that is what is looking out of your eyes right now. That is what hears Andreas's voice. That is what makes your heart beat. That is what makes your avatar, your body, wake up in the morning and fall asleep at night. That is God. That is the ultimate intelligence. And that is you. That is us as the one. As the one that inherently plays itself out as duality. And that, indeed, is the fundamental game here. We lose ourselves in our own creation and search for happiness, search for peace, search for love. And we keep searching for it in our own creation until we realize that we won't find it there. And then we turn around, come back home, into unity, into wholeness, and feel we were always here. We were always here as what we already are. Nothing is lost. Nothing has been added. Whatever experience takes place here in our dream, in our human existence. Only that I believe one thing is better and the other is worse. To perception itself, which is what we are, it doesn't matter at all what it perceives. It truly doesn't matter. Pure perception, from moment to moment, allows us to recognize this deep truth. Our mind constantly tries to pull us back into an I, back into time, back into this human dream. We have to change ourselves. We have to go to therapy. We have to save the world. We have to do this. We have to do that. We have to become a better person. According to our mind, we have to do something all the time. And because there is absolutely no end to it in this particular way, from this very perspective, we inevitably get tired. We truly become weary of life, in the truest and most profound sense of the word, utterly weary of life. And then we slowly turn and gently open ourselves to what is always truly there, namely our own authentic selves. What is always present and enduring is the fundamental essence from which everything originates and comes into being. And the essence is not separate from us. That is us. That is our nature, our true core. Becoming inwardly still is not a practice, not a method, not a technique. It is a knowing, a realization that we were here before our mind was here, before our feelings were here, before our body was here, before the world was here, before the universe was here. It is a deep wisdom that allows us to become calm. It is the radical opening to the here and now. Because you are detached from your human existence. You are detached from the objects you perceive. You are connected to it, but detached, not attached. What is present is here. What wants to move on, may keep flowing. This is the attitude of the perspective of love. To be connected through our pure perception with what is, but not to be attached to what is. And the attachment is the thought. The thought grasps an object, an experience, a relationship, a person, a circumstance, and says, I want to have that. That must not go, that must not change, or it should go. That is attachment, that is identification, and that is suffering. And we as God, we as consciousness, are so intelligent that we have defined these rules of the game in such a way, figuratively speaking, if we are not at home in our true greatness, in our true nature, we suffer. We give ourselves a reminder called fear, called sadness, called resistance, depression, whatever it may be, to turn back. We make ourselves aware that we are not at home in our true perspective of connectedness, but not attachment. That is a completely radically different view than from the perspective of a human, from an ego. We try to therapize away our depression, our fear, to get rid of them. But in reality, there is nothing to get rid of or to overcome. They are messages of love to ourselves. It's a reminder, a memory of where we are attached and where we are allowed to let go. Because it is us. We, only we, are the ones who color the moment, emotionally, as it is right now. There is no one else. There is no one else except us as being. Does it make sense to you that we have full responsibility and at the same time absolutely no responsibility at all? Because what we are is always free in reality. What we see is always free, but we can steer the experience in this direction or in that direction. That, too, is up to us. The present moment is what is. It's a fact. And if we do not deeply penetrate into the present moment with our full awareness, the mind then says, this very moment should be entirely different. And that's no longer being in the moment, because we're not in the fact, but in a fiction. And that is suffering. That is already the deviation from what is. And that is already the struggle of life. Opening up to what is not only initiates an energetic change, the becoming one, the dissolution of the self, the recognition of unconditional peace, but at the same time also sets a new process in motion in our humanity, a new unfolding, new relationships, new circumstances, different experiences. Simply because we open up to the infinite moment. Where do we want to arrive? Where do we want to go? We are everything. We are nothing and everything at the same time. What is there to achieve? What is not already here? We are everything. We are the essence of life. We are love. We are peace. Here, all emotional dependencies dissolve. Here, conflicts dissolve. Here, worries dissolve because we know deep within there is no one there. There is no one there to whom anything could happen, who could get something or not get something. It is the one energy that plays out in everything and is everything. We step out of the waves of the ego's life and sink to the ocean floor, where everything is always the same. Complete in itself, fulfilled in itself, peaceful in itself. And yet, we keep playing ourselves for a while longer as this avatar. We are formlessness and formlessness as form.